This week on the podcast, Carrie and I are sharing all of our thoughts about all of the park announcements from the D23 Expo. And I've got some pretty exciting pixie dust this week, if I do say so myself. Make sure you stay to the end to hear what it is. You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hi, Carrie.
Hello, Fran.
How are you?
I'm all right.
You know, it's funny. We start talking, and as soon as we start, like, the intro, I'm like, didn't we have something that we needed to say at the beginning of the podcast? I think so. We got another review, Carrie. And I almost forgot about it.
No.
Almost.
Read her up. Lay her out. Roll her out.
Well, isn't that funny? Because that's exactly what I was trying to do to get the review up. Because I've sent it to you the other day and said, oh my gosh, look. And
I guess I could pull it up. But
yeah, that's okay. It's all right. I got it.
Okay.
All right.
Go for it.
So this is from A. Marie Sam via Apple Podcasts, a Canadian listener. So it's the title is Love, 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 and it has 5 stars.
Ooh.
Thank you. Woohoo. And it says, I absolutely love this podcast. Makes me feel very much surrounded by Disney magic since I can't go to Walt Disney World as often as I'd like.
Aww.
Isn't that great?
Are we're magic?
We're magic. Isn't that funny that people feel they're surrounded by Disney magic listening to us? That's awesome. Thank you so much, A. Marie.
If they were hanging out with us at California, they'd be surrounded by Disney sweat.
Yeah, true. Yes.
Not so magical.
Not so magical at all. But we figured this week we were going to, since nothing was really time sensitive in some of those announcements, we thought we'd go over some of the announcements from D23 and share our thoughts, ideas, feedback, perspectives.
Gotcha. So we're going to do the parks. The park stuff? Right.
Yeah, the park stuff. I think we're not going to do like the stuff from Paris or Shanghai or anything like that. Well, Shanghai, there was some more concept art for Zootopia, but whatever.
You don't even like the flight to California.
I know, right? Seriously. And that's the only thing keeping me from going to some of the others.
Maybe you just have to hop all the way over there.
Maybe. Well, I did see today online that my cousins went to Disneyland Paris. So they took their daughter and went to Disneyland Paris. Isn't that fun?
That is fun.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Well, they live in Scotland, right? So it's not
just a hop, skip, and a jump.
It's a hop, skip, and a jump. And oh my gosh, it was so lovely to see. So they're raising her right. Disney.
Good job.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, we figure we'll do the parks. I'm going to be, because I have the list, so I'm going to be nice and start with Disneyland.
Well, they did start with Disneyland first.
Did they?
They jumped all over the place, yeah.
They kind of did, and so kudos. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. We were talking about doing this and talk about them, and then we were like, where are we we got to find the list of announcements, because they were all over the place when they did the announcements. And lo and behold, you just go to WDW Walt Disney World News Today, and they actually have a blog post of, here's every park announcement from D23 Expo. Boom. List. Thank you. Done. Okay. You ready for first one from Disneyland?
Absolutely.
I'm excited about this one. The Mandalorian and Grogu will appear in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland in November.
That's pretty cool. Grogu's adorable.
Yeah, adorable.
And he talks. He kind of
Grogu mumbles.
Does.
Yeah, it's kind of sound effects.
Grogu talk.
But Carrie, so right out of the gate, I'm going to ask about this one. November?
I know. Well, they also did the Hulk robot thingy, whatever the heck it was called, and that's like this week. Like that's the news this week that he's already in Avengers Campus.
The Hulk Project Exo robotic I can't even say this, exoskeleton meet and greet will start at Avengers Campus. So that one is ready to go.
Yeah, like it's happening.
Grogu and the Mandalorian are November. What do they have, job postings out for them or something? And they got to give the hiring process time? What?
I kind of believe the total opposite. Like, I don't think the expo is I don't know that. I guess I should watch what I'm saying because I think I'm going to probably say the total opposite. But like, for something
total
else.
Opposite of me?
No, the total opposite of myself. What I say, I'm probably going to contradict myself in like 2 more bullets. But I just think it's like finding the right like news and the right timing. Like, I don't think the expo is meant for telling us something that's happening tomorrow or even next month. But I also don't like that it's telling us something that's happening so far in advance. So like kind of the in between. Like, I feel that this isn't really like, when he's coming to the park next week, I don't think that's really D23 worthy news. And even I guess the Grogu thing and the Mandalorian is good because it's something crazy and new. Like the fact that they have, well, I guess if I was a Hulk fan, I would probably be going bananas over that. But the fact that they've done that with Grogu is huge. I guess it's okay.
I don't know. We haven't
November's
seen
not
yet.
far. Well, he came up on the stage and he was like, they did show him. They brought the Mandalorian out with the little Grogu.
Why is he back in the closet till November? Like, that's the part I don't get. If he's there, he's ready, he's willing and mingling.
Well, maybe they gotta work out some kinks or something. So
I don't get it.
And I think too, like with something like that, so I guess November's okay that it's coming soon, but it's also just Disneyland. So what about all the Walt Disney
World?
I thought that was kind of weird that they came out with stuff and they're like, just at Disneyland.
Yeah, it is weird, right?
So it's sort of like it will come to Walt Disney World, but we're not going to talk about it yet because we're going to try to get this guy out next week and the other guy's out in November. And if all works out, then we'll talk about doing it in
maybe we'll announce it as a big surprise at Walt Disney World at some point.
Yeah, but I think they're generally pretty cool. But I don't know.
It doesn't make sense to me why it's got to wait a couple months. Like, that part I don't get.
It's not ready. But that's the thing. The expo is about telling you news. So it's like telling you the news. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to hear things for the first time. That's what the parks panel, that's what all of the panels really should be, in my opinion. Like, you're getting sneak peeks and you're hearing about something for the first time.
Okay.
So my thing is hearing about stuff that's happening next week when it's going to be in the news in 2 days. Or even, like, how long are they going to take before they tell us about the Mandalorian and Grogu? Like, is it really news where we feel like we're insiders or that we're getting the first sneak peek or whatever? Like, that's...
Well, how did you feel about the Run Disney news? Run Disney will return to Disneyland Resort in 2024.
Well, I think for Run Disney people, it's been missing for so long. So I'm sure for people that want to do it and are excited, they're probably pretty stoked that it is coming back. Yeah, it's a little, but
it's like two extremes, right? So we've got the Hulk is coming out next week. And by the way, if you sit tight, in 2 years, you can have your Run Disney event.
Yeah, I think that one's a little different because people are just excited for it to return. Like, I don't know that that's D23. Like, I don't think that's D23 worthy news. The fact that there's something that always happened and then COVID happened and they haven't brought it back. That'd be like giving us a date for the return of the dining plans. Like, I don't think that's D23 worthy news. But if it was coming back around this time, I bet you it would have been. It would have been.
Oh, 100%. 100%. They would have milked it for all it was worth there.
Yeah, it just sort of yeah. So I think, I don't know that that's D20. Like, I don't think that's D23 worthy news. Like, I think showing us the Grogu and showing us the Hulk thing, but I think it's kind of like, I think opposite of you. Like, I don't think like, I think it should be coming, but I think there should be a long enough window that we're like, ooh, we're getting a real sneak peek and we got to see that awesome thing that's happening.
Yeah.
And they told us all about it in detail. And then, oh, it's going to be there in January, or it's going to be there for Christmas or whatever.
That's where I struggle, because you and I differ a little bit on that. Well, I think we feel the same about, it's supposed to be like a sneak peek for people at D23, but it's not when they live stream the whole thing.
Well, I think they do.
And I know this is so not what the topic was today. So the topic is about the news. But it's hard to, it's a sneak peek and then they're live streaming it to everywhere. So I could have saved my $400 ticket and my whatever and watched it online.
Well, no. Well, I think that's the thing. I think you can, of course, watch it online. But that's why I think the news has to be awesome, so that when you're in it and you're experiencing it and you're seeing it, it's worth it. Like, there are times at the expo when I've been all those sessions, and sure, the news drops 5 minutes later or whatever, but being there and truly experiencing it and being in shock and being in awe and seeing it and feeling it at that moment is what makes it worth being there. Even though it's going to be on Walt Disney World News Today 5 minutes later or whatever, right? So that's where, like, the Grogu, like, if they showed us Grogu and the Mandalorian and then, like, brought them out and whatever, but then showed us behind the scenes how they worked, did whatever, or how they, they developed things or made something more, like, they came out for like 2 minutes and talked about it and then they left, right? So that too, like, I think it's really making, like, having the juicy, delivery. Awesome and things and delivering it and having us feel special, but then showing us more. And making it's all about the feels and how you feel when you're there, how you're excited, the joy, like, when you truly feel joy about being there. Are we
really selling the D23 experience, do you think?
Well, I've been 5 times and I'll go 5 more. So I think it depends on if you
our listeners, if they're finding this like a good preview into what it feels like.
I don't think this is a good example for our listeners, considering I've been 5 times and I've never been to the parks panel because I think if I'm going to wait and get those feels, I'm going to go to the live action, or I'm going to go to the Marvel,
to the other panels,
or the animation. I'm going to go to those panels or go see the Muppets or do things where I know I'm going to get those feels and that experience, and I know I'm not going to get that from the parks panel. And I think we're different types of park fans, and we might not get as excited about things as some of these people do, right? So,
well, I will tell you, when we posted the episode about the panels and stuff in our D23 experience, I had someone comment that they love seeing the Muppets, but they've never seen them with the puppeteers underneath, because of course in our podcast artwork we had that, so they were pretty cool, and went and researched and saw it online and stuff, so pretty cool. All right, Carrie.
Yep, sorry about that.
The two of us. Blah, 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 blah,
blah. Blah, blah.
Yeah, see how we do that? Okay, the new Avengers Campus multiverse attraction will feature King Thanos, who won in an alternate reality to Avengers Endgame. So King Thanos, he's the big dude that we took the picture with, right? Where we were like, what's this? And Jamie's like,
the guy that's got the bejeweled glove
thingy.
Yes.
Right.
Fisty, whatever. Yeah. So it's so there's an alternate there's an alternate ending to Endgame.
Okay.
And that's what that's what it's supposed to be. I think, like, I've heard from lots of Avengers fans or Disneyland fans that they feel that there's something missing from that land. Like, it doesn't feel full. It feels like there could be more.
It feels a bit small in terms of what they have. And I don't even know the Avengers things, but I know that there's like 542 movies. And yet when you go into that land, it seems like it's not really representative of how big that universe is.
I think the land, like, right now is mostly for character meet and greets. Like, and for people that love doing that and love doing pictures and love, then it's right up their alley.
It's perfect.
For a theme park land, like if you look at, other theme park lands, it's lacking. So I think that's a good thing. So, but I really don't have any more opinion on it. I'm curious as to where it will be in Avengers Campus. Like where it'll fit. And I think, Avengers, like when I think of the Bugs Land, whatever it was in there, I think that, like, to me, Avengers Campus seems a lot bigger. So it looks like there is space to do more. So, yeah.
That'll be exciting. Pacific Wharf at Disney California Adventure will be reimagined into San Francisco from Big Hero 6.
That sounds pretty cool. I think it fits, like, if they're going to do something to that area. But, like, when they were listing the things that they were going to do in that area, like, it sounded like, I can't remember exactly, but it sounded like they were taking away a lot. Like, it's a place to go have lunch. Like, are we not going to be able to eat there anymore?
Yeah, like, that isn't that where we had the lunch one day and we had, like, there were all the options because we had lunch from 2 different places. But it was kind of all the tables in the middle, and then there was all the almost like the food stations around the outside. Yeah. So it'll be, I don't know. Big Hero 6 wasn't one of my favorites.
Well, but I think that they could change the landscape to be like that's somewhere where they could easily change the landscape to match that theme.
And
I think
sure.
I think it would fit, like, because it really is the park is a bunch of different lands that are totally different side by side by side. So really, to pop that in beside Avengers Campus and Pixar Pier.
Just why Big Hero 6?
Because I think it'll fit. Like, it'll fit with the theme. Like, I could see them just plopping that in there, no problem.
Yeah. I'm going to reserve judgment on that one until I actually see it.
Yeah,
and I might need to watch the movie again before I see it.
I don't feel any which way, like any certain way over it. I'm just more generally like okay that they'll do that there, like, because it's not like they're messing something up. Like, they're just like, that's a great place to eat, but it's not like they're not. I don't
They're
think
not
that's
taking away something.
I don't think that's a
that
beloved area of the park that people are going to get their pitchforks out that they're changing it. I think people will welcome that it's different and themed.
Okay.
So
the next one there was new concept art for Mickey's Toontown attraction. That was released. I'm kind of excited to see what they do with Toontown. I think I loved that area of the park. I loved it when we had one in Walt Disney World, and I think it's lacking in Walt Disney World. I think we need more of that in the parks. I'd love to see a Toontown return there. So I'm kind of excited to see this one in Disneyland. It'll be like the unique thing that you get at Disneyland that you can't get at Walt Disney World.
Do you think there's any regret that they took Toontown out of Walt Disney World?
I think there has to be. Why there should be. Like, the entire company was built on tunes, and yet we don't have a Toontown.
How hard would that have been to work around it?
Exactly. So I'd love to see that come back.
For goodness, at Disneyland, they put a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in the park and didn't have to touch Toontown. Exactly. Okay. Who knows?
This one we knew because they started taking the sign down before they made the announcement. But Paradise Pier Hotel will officially renamed Pixar Palace Hotel Pixar Place. I can't read tonight. Pixar Place Hotel and include a Finding Nemo splash pad. Ooh.
Yeah, like, I think that's funny. That's the funniest thing in including.
Seriously?
It's going to be called Pixar Place. But let me tell you, there's going to be a Finding Nemo splash pad. Like, I don't think that was very...
That wasn't like the cherry on top that they thought it was.
of it not really being news, right? They've been talking about this because they have, like, the Tokyo Disneyland Hotel is very Toy Story themed or whatever, and it looks like they could just copy some of that stuff. But they seriously did, like, it's almost like we were laughing that they started taking down the Pixar Pier sign the night before the day before
Expo started.
The Expo started, or the day, like the first day or whatever. It's almost like someone picked the wrong work order up. Like they weren't supposed to start that till Monday, but they started it on Friday or Saturday or whatever.
And it was so obvious because the side of the building, it was all weathered and worn, so you could see that the sign was missing, but you could also clearly read what the sign was if you didn't know that it still was Paradise Pier. It was weird. As the week went on, they were taking, the top has like the waves, like the top has the blue waves. They were taking that down, like, by the time we left. So but that was kind of like the worst kept secret.
But again,
and whatever,
like,
they're just going to Yeah,
what would have been
retheme the hotel.
D23 worthy would have them like showing a lot of detail and really going into it.
What are the
thoroughly.
new rooms going to look like, and how did they come up with the concept, and where did they
I
come
don't
up
think
with the?
they did that, did they?
I don't think so. More details they revealed about Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is exciting. So this is where they're redoing from Splash Mountain. Obviously I'm excited about that. But really, like, I kind of felt like it was filler news. Like, they've been talking about it for how long, and okay. There is a new Wondrous Journeys Fireworks Spectacular to debut at Disneyland next year.
I like that news. And they said it's January, right? So
Yeah, so that's kind of exciting. New fireworks. There will be new platinum decorations and character costumes for 100 Years of Wonder. Like,
and that's at Disneyland too, right? Like that was a note. That
Yes.
was that they're doing it at Disneyland, which is interesting. Maybe because it's too close to the 50th. Like the turnaround is a little bit too quick, but
yeah.
or maybe because it does sound like, or they did mention that Disneyland was going to be like this, like the central area for that. Or maybe
But
just
it
a
makes
starting
sense.
point.
I mean, that's where the company started, was out that way. So I don't know. But saying there'll be new decorations and character costumes, like, shocking.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
I like the costumes though. Like they look nice. I kind of like, and maybe I was thinking when I saw them, I'm like, ooh, I really like that. And then I was thinking, I remember how excited we were when we saw the 50th iridescent stuff.
We were like,
I'm sick and tired of looking at that stuff. That I'm like, ooh, I really like that. And I'm like, do I like it more? And I'm like, Carrie, stop it. You really love the iridescent stuff when it came out.
That iridescent stuff, we were so over the moon when that came out. All of their costumes and the outfits and the colors.
Well, and maybe it makes sense, like you said, that's where it all started, and it'll draw tourism and people from maybe the East Coast over to Disneyland to see it, and really we've seen character costumes and decorations for a year and a half.
Yeah.
At Walt Disney World, so it needs a break.
So
But I'm surprised, like, because usually if the 50th hadn't been for the last 18 months, would you not be like, how come Walt Disney World's not getting anything? Like, as a Walt Disney World fan?
1,000%.
Exactly.
1,000%. But I would expect that it's going to end up at Walt Disney World after the 50th ends.
Yeah.
Right? Because of course. And because they have to share some of the merch and all of that stuff. Who knows how much of this merch they ordered? One of the things that was driving us crazy in Disneyland was seeing Walt Disney World merchandise, and not just like the same stuff, not just like it's a Tiana mug and they've got it in both places. No. This is like Animal Kingdom themed and branded merchandise.
Epcot
World stuff Showcase. That said Epcot World Showcase, like things like that. It was weird.
There was a lot of it. Like they started doing a little bit of it, but like there was lots and lots of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was almost like a little fun game we were having to.
Well, and I just think it's weird. So like for people that are visiting Disneyland and this is their first time, or like, do they know about Epcot? Like, does this even mean anything to them? Like,
well,
it doesn't seem to follow the storytelling that they're so famous for. Mm-hmm. What's the story why we have Epcot stuff in Disneyland?
Animal Kingdom too.
Yeah.
Like maybe let's just fingers crossed that it's a supply. Like it's a fact that they have so much merch and they need to get rid of it. Like
they need to start
so, and
flogging
that's not
it somewhere else.
Hopefully that's the reason, and we won't see Epcot merch at Disneyland forever.
I hope not.
But we saw that, remember, like all the Main Street Electrical Parade stuff was at Walt Disney World. And again, it would have been interesting to like have, well, and I'm sure maybe it's out there. I'm sure there are people that did videos on guessing what was going to come out at the parks panel at D23. And for Disney, like people thought the Main Street Electrical Parade was coming back to Walt Disney World. People thought at Disneyland they were going to talk about the People Mover coming back. Mm-hmm. and the Tomorrowland reimagining and all that stuff, and that didn't get not even a
it didn't happen.
A blip because they were just too like fillers, like you said. Everything seems sort of like
filler material.
And you think there'd be a way to like present this to the masses, like a different type of session instead of doing it like this, and because I think a lot of people were kind of bummed out because I think they just expected more.
Yeah. True.
Anyways.
Okay, this one speaks to you.
Muppets?
World of Color 1. Featuring Coco, Encanto, and more will debut at Disney California Adventure.
In January. That was the part that I was excited about. It's not tomorrow. It's not next week when we're going to miss it. But it's far enough out that you've given me a date
that Carrie can book another trip.
To, and that we can actually, it's not going to be so far away that we're going to forget when you told us it was coming, that it's reasonably in a short amount of time. And I don't know about the name. Like, the name's kind of weird.
World of Color 1.
Yeah, I don't know. But...
like, is there going to be a 2? It's a weird name.
I'm excited about that and the fireworks. I'm excited about those two things for Disneyland for sure.
And the Magic Happens Parade is going to return to Disneyland.
I never saw that, and I saw a lot of people post that. Like, I never saw it in the first place, so I'm glad I'm going to maybe get to see it because it wasn't there for very long, and then I think COVID.
Yeah, COVID really messed some stuff up. And Porto's Bakery and Cafe is coming soon to downtown Disney.
Yeah, everybody was going crazy about that. I don't even know what that is. Like,
I don't either.
Must be a Canadian thing that we're dummies. We don't know. We never heard of it.
Maybe. But that was all of the Disneyland announcements.
They weren't too bad, but nothing
you know
too
what?
exciting.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It was a lot of news. So yeah.
I'm happy with some of that stuff. So. I wouldn't give it 2 thumbs down. I think the Disneyland stuff, I'd give it 1 thumb up and 1 thumb down.
What? What? 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down?
So it kind of like they cancel each other out. So then I can be like, I don't know how I feel. Don't pressure me. Don't make me no comment.
Oh my gosh, Carrie. Okay. Good Lord. Alrighty, so we'll move on to the Walt Disney World information.
I'll let you do all the talking for this one then.
Oh, well, you've got to have an opinion on this stuff. The original cast is returning for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So these are the people that voiced in the movie are coming back for the attraction. Yeah.
Like, I think that's cool for, like, the super duper fans that really, like, the ones that really follow the actors and the voice, the voice actors, the singers, the actors, like, that's huge to them. But to most people, like, they'd find someone that sounds almost like Tiana and almost sounds like whatever.
Honestly,
so it's really more like a real deep fandom that would.
Yeah, but I never expected there would be anything different. Like, why would you not expect
you would assume it is them,
that they would want to participate in something like this? For, like, the President of the United States lends his voice to an attraction in the theme park. Why would these people not want to lend their voice to the characters they created? Like, I just assumed they would. But anyway, that's my thought.
That'd be interesting to know how many do, or how many are imposters. Would be
interesting to know. Maybe that's something somebody could find out for us, because I'm not doing that research. Okay, this one everybody was going ballistic for, and while I'm happy, I'm not thrilled. Happily Ever After is returning to Magic Kingdom next year. Ta-da!
Yeah. I kind of put that in the pocket with like with the Run Disney thing. You're telling us something's coming back that we love, like, or most people love. Like, I don't know that that's really newsworthy.
Well, yeah, like, I don't know. They had Jordan Fisher, like, teasing it, so whatever. But if you really wanted to go whole hog and bring back something that people love, why didn't you bring back Wishes? Like, why Happily Ever After? I think Happily Ever After is very similar to the one we have now. I don't know what it's not a huge leap between the two of them. Mm-hmm. So Wishes will always have the special place in my heart, and I think it's a far superior
They'll
show.
probably do that at the next expo. They'll tell us they're bringing Wishes back.
Maybe.
Put a break on whatever fireworks.
Maybe. But maybe they're finally well, no, I don't know, because Happily Ever After has just as many projections too. So, I think they need to move away from the projections on the castle, because I think it creates such congestion on Main Street that it's not worth it. But that's my 2 cents. Tron Light Cycle will open at Magic Kingdom in the spring of 2023.
Yeah. That one was, I was watching.
That is, they had Josh come out, God love Josh. Yeah, let's ride, woohoo, let's do it again. And they say, so you mean to tell me you put one of the most important people in the company on this ride, but it's not ready for us to ride for at least 8 months?
Yeah, when we were walking around the expo when it first started, we had it playing on my phone and we were watching, and that was that was, to me, when I saw that, I was like, I don't even know that we need to stream this anymore. that they wrote it, and that was the thing. Like when he's like, let's bring you guys for a ride. I thought, oh boy,
here it comes.
American Thanksgiving, this Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day? No. Memorial Day weekend? I thought for sure that, he's bringing us a ride. He's going to show us. And then he said, do you guys want to ride it again? And he wrote it again. And then they can't even tell us a date.
I know. It doesn't. Yeah.
They can't even tell us a date.
I'm going to be a lot older by then, too. I worry. I kind of want to hurry up and get it over with.
Spring
2023.
So it'll be sometime between March and summer is June 21st, so I guess at least it is in the spring. But it's just they can't get a date for us. If they would have gave a date, the place would have went crazy.
Long.
There would the whole room would have done the wave and the whatever, sort of breakdancing.
They had nothing.
Nothing.
The Hatbox Ghost will be added to the Haunted Mansion at the Magic Kingdom next year. It's about time.
It's about
that's all
time.
I gotta say. Yeah, it's about time.
And we figured that was gonna happen, but yeah. Again, they didn't and not even when though. They just said this. Did they say next year or
next year? Next year.
So I
feel like you and I are in this negative Nelly pool. I feel like it.
Oh, we're having fun with this. We're not being really negative. We're not being too negative. We're just having fun.
I know, remember, but I feel like I am. I'm like, this is like the Hatbox Post, whatever. You should have given it to us before.
Yeah, and really, we love everything about this.
I know. I'll be excited to go see it in my own park. Then I don't need to go to Disneyland where Carrie's like, oh, we gotta go. They have a better Haunted Mansion.
They do.
Well, they do until they fix the room at Walt Disney World. How you get shuttled into that room. I don't like that. There are themed lands. This is exciting. Themed lands for Coco, Encanto, and Disney villains are in early development for Magic Kingdom. So to me, early development means don't count on it for another 3 or 4 years.
Or they could be just ideas.
Could be. And they could all go away. But it does sound exciting.
For sure.
That they would have, that they're even entertaining a Disney villains land.
And I think,
come on.
Didn't they say something about putting it in the rivers, where the rivers of America is, or whatever? I think that's awesome, new lands.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine. Not that I can't imagine that I don't want it to happen, but I can't imagine a different Magic Kingdom.
I know. And I'm wondering things like, I don't know, where would they put the Encanto house? They'd have to have the house. The house would have to be some kind of focal point, I would think. It's pretty exciting. Okay, so that part's exciting.
Huge change to Magic Kingdom. I can't even start to imagine. And
I know.
And it would be it would be 6 or 8 years down the road probably by the time it was all done.
Harmonious is going to be replaced with a new nighttime spectacular for 100 Years of Wonder at Epcot.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. I just wish they'd bring back Epcot Forever. Maybe it's a mixture of the two. I don't know. Maybe a little Epcot Forever sneaks in there.
Maybe.
Because that was fantastic, that show.
Like, I think Harmonious is like a ridiculous, spectacular spectacle of craziness. Like,
it
all
is.
of the
It's
fireworks,
amazing.
Like, I don't really love the, like, I can't say that I love the story or even how it go, like, whatever. To me, it's just wow. Like, you can't believe that they do so much pyro in one small show. Like, where's the music and the waves and like, you think of World of Color, right? Like, at the very end, what they do is a finale. Like, this thing has a finale every single song.
Yes.
So, like, I wonder if they will do it a little bit differently. And not have, like, they've got the pyro of, like, 8 firework finales in one show.
Yeah. Yeah, so, for sure.
I thought it was cool that way, but I didn't, like, it's not that I fell in love with it, but I thought it was wonderful to watch because, like, if you like fireworks.
True. Very true.
I tell everybody to go watch it because it's, like, unbelievable. Like, you can't believe it. You're like, seriously?
It's amazing. It really is. But I would love to see Epcot Forever come back a little bit because I think it was such a great show.
Something new, something different. And I think if it's 100, like if it's 100, it'll have maybe some story. It'll have just more of a storytelling of Walt and history and and whatever.
All they gotta do is throw Walt in any of those shows, and I'm a puddle. Like that's all they gotta do. So yeah.
Yeah, I bet you they'll do that with the
100%.
World of Color one, and then you'll want to go back.
Then I'll want to see it. Yeah. Even with the desserts they serve.
Yeah.
This one, a Figment meet and greet, will open at Epcot in 2023.
That's another, again, 2023.
That's another, come on, you couldn't get it done before then? Like, is he on holiday? Is he on vacation somewhere and it's hard to get him back?
They've got to redo his, all the costumes or something. That's another one where we can file it under It's About Dang Time.
Yeah, it's about time. People have been screaming, Figment is everything.
Like, everybody loves Figment.
Yeah.
And you think that, like, why they wouldn't have had something overall, like, all these years.
Well, they also told us that Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, and Communicore Hall will open in late 2023.
That's a long time.
It's a long time to have, like, the middle of Epcot all dug up.
Done. We just want our beloved Epcot done.
Yeah.
That kind of bummed me out when that part, because I was like, that, like, the end.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't even care that Epcot's, like, okay, I do care that Epcot's all ripped up because it's a pain in the butt to walk around it.
Oh, it is.
But, like, but knowing that what's to come, but the fact that we got to wait till, like, a whole, over 1 year from now.
It's a long time. This better be, I don't know. Like, when you go around on the monorail and you see, like,
it's a huge space.
It's huge space. I don't know. So maybe that's why it takes so long. Anyway, the best,
what do they do,
absolute, I don't know.
Because
but the absolute best news.
Grassy knolls and stuff.
Like,
maybe. A place for families.
Well, no, because they're going to have, like, the water feature and all the trees. Maybe they planted the trees. They got to wait for them to grow.
Maybe
I don't know.
Like, maybe they'll have, like, an area like Villains Grove in the trees.
Maybe.
That would be good.
That would be pretty cool. They could. But, Carrie, like, some of the biggest thing to come out of this D23 was the fact that a Moana and Zootopia land is in early development to replace Dino Land USA at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
I'm excited about that.
I'm so excited about that. I don't know, like, why it's got to be a Moana and Zootopia land. Like, why aren't they each getting their own land? Zootopia could handle a land all on its own. And should, quite frankly. But I'm just happy that Zootopia is getting some representation in the park.
Well, but it's also saying in development. Like, these things are, like, they didn't really give any details, right? So,
no,
like,
but
it's to be like, woohoo, just everybody clap, but then we're like, oh, hopefully it happens.
It better happen. It better happen. I'm really looking, this could bump Animal Kingdom up on my list of parks. If it had a Zootopia. I'm just saying. So that was all the Walt Disney World news.
Until they're all like little kiddie rides.
I don't care. I'll go on it. That was all the Walt Disney World news. That was it. So they did have some other stuff for Paris and Shanghai and Hong Kong. They did have Disney Cruise Line. They talked, there was concept art and some details about Lighthouse Point.
But they also...
The next private island.
And the next ship, was it?
And
What's
the
it
next
called?
ship is called Disney Treasure. So that, they talked about that. But nothing really massive as far as I was concerned, but those were the big news stories and our opinions of them. Take them for what they were.
Really nothing at all.
And who are we kidding? We love it all. We're going to go back. We're going to be so excited.
Yeah, for sure.
I think our biggest disappointment was how long some of them are going to take.
Yeah, that's
And I think it's because of the whole COVID and everything. It feels like we've just been waiting so long for new stuff that when they say 2023 or even worse, 2024 or late 20, it just seems so far away. And we're just too excited.
And really, and by the time the next expo comes, they might have, if some of these new lands are coming to fruition and they're really going to happen, then they might be able to deliver on some of the details and exciting things that we would expect them to share, or maybe not.
I wonder how much of it, too, was planning for this expo and not knowing. I mean, there was so much of this. They plan these things a year in advance. A year ago, nobody knew if you'd be able to go to Disneyland and go to the expo and if we'd all be out of our homes or traveling on planes or doing anything. So I wonder how much of it was a restriction in how well they could plan and coordinate some of this stuff, too. And how... maybe they can't commit to dates because they don't know if they're going to have the parts or the materials or whatever.
Well, we know that that's how it goes, right? We don't know until we know. And I think too, just, as Disney fans, we're excited about all of it. We just kind of like to be the way that we are. And the whole room's even the people, even if people were a little disappointed with things, that room of however many people, 10,000 people were cheering and hooting and hollering because they love Disney parks and they love hearing all that stuff and everything's exciting, right? It's just sometimes, like you said, we have to wait so long before we get kind of bummed out that we want.
But
we always want new stuff.
Our reviews say that we get people excited about their trip. We're surrounding them with Disney magic, so yay!
Well, maybe they'll just laugh at us for how silly we are.
Or maybe they'll agree with us and say it shouldn't take this long. We want it now. Yeah. We're so excited. I can't wait for Zootopia.
Or just do a different type of panel. It doesn't have to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can't give us some fun stuff to share instead of just having us in there going woohoo. Waiting for the next thing. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, that was our recap. I think we did a good job covering them all. Thanks to Walt Disney World News Today for providing the news, the list for us. Carrie.
What?
I forgot to ask you before we started. So you do have pixie dust?
Yeah. I do.
Oh, you do. You do. And I don't know what it is because we didn't talk about it before we started recording.
It's pixie dust that just happened today.
Presses?
Fresh off the press. At work today, I have a colleague at work that met a stranger in a parking lot after work today. Because, and let me tell the story.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out where this is going, but
a colleague at work met somebody in a parking lot today after work to get a Muppet button for me.
No.
A retro Muppet button. And it's funny, she was going to surprise me and we were at work and I, it was right before leaving and we saw each other and she was like, hey, have you been here all day? And I'm like, yeah, have you been here all day? And then she was getting ready to leave and she's like, you know where I'm going right now? And I'm like, I don't know where you're going. And she's like, I'm going to meet a stranger in a parking lot to get you a Muppet button.
Oh, that's fantastic. It was fun. So
we chatted, we got caught up and we were chatting a little bit and talking about what we collect or whatever. And she showed me the picture of the Muppet button. And then when she got home and she had, safely was home from the Muppet button transaction, she sent me a picture of it. So that was cool.
That is amazing. What a good friend. So the Pixie Dust
is the button, but also the fact that,
your friend would do that for you.
She did that for me, and that we just happened to, because she said I was just going to leave it on your door or something, and then you wonder who it was from, but But she was, it was funny because she was like, hey, and then do you know where I'm going? Guess you'll never believe what I'm going to do after work. And I was like, I don't know, like.
That's awesome.
Grocery shopping.
Oh, good.
So that's my pixie dust. That was a fun one.
That's pretty cool.
Brighten the end of my day.
Yeah, for sure.
And what's your pixie dust, Missy?
Well, my pixie dust, Carrie, I'm sharing this as kind of like a sneak peek, I guess, to our listeners.
Yeah, sneak peek. I wasn't going to say spoiler, but sneak peek.
Well, because I haven't posted about it yet. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, I'll be posting and all sorts of stuff. But after 15 years in the travel industry, which a lot of people don't know that I've been working in the travel industry as well, I have partnered with a friend who we've opened our own travel agency.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so it's really exciting. I'm like over the moon.
You're gonna tell everybody what it's called?
Yes, it's called Playcation Travel Ltd. And we've talked about it. I've wanted my own business since I was 17 years old. I've thought about it my whole life. And it just sort of worked out and it happened and it's been a lot of work and I'm so excited and I'm hoping to start marketing and telling everybody about it soon. But, we don't really talk about that stuff on the podcast because we're not a sales pro, like you represent Pure Magic Vacations. I now represent Playcation Travel. And we just want people to have fun and love Disney the way we do. It's not about selling or anything like that. So we don't talk about it, but it kind of like this was kind of big news in my life.
Huge. We're gonna file it under It's About Dang Time. That's the third thing I filed this episode under. It's About Dang Time.
About Dang Time. Yes.
You got your business. You got your business together.
I did. So I'm very excited. And of course, we're going to focus on, like Disney, Universal, all that kind of stuff. But all the stuff. A
full-service travel agency.
A full-service travel agency. And I'm just excited by silly things. Like, I built the website. Like, I know I built Pixie Dust Fan, but, like, I built this other website. And I did it all by myself. And it works. And, when it works, it's like, whoa. I did that. It's pretty cool. So I'm very excited. So my business partner, Angela, and I will be posting soon. And it's very, very exciting.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm, it's pretty cool. But you and I have got many trips to plan together in the future with other things. I think we've got one coming up in a few months. And we've got great new episodes coming up soon. We've got a guest that's going to come on shortly and talk about his most recent trip to Walt Disney World and share. He did something that you and I have not done at Walt Disney World, and I'm not sure I ever will, which is dine at Victoria and Albert. So
I think we should just for fun.
Oh my gosh, it's funny because
we'll be banned from. They'll probably they'll put in the kitchen. Don't let these two boneheads. Don't let these two boneheads in anymore. I don't care if they got a reservation and they prepaid. Don't let these boneheads in.
Don't let them in. Yeah. So we're gonna hear all about that. So
that's exciting. I'm so excited to hear about that.
Yeah, me too. Well, thank you very much for listening, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.